But the dream persisted. It kept coming back. And truly, at the beginning, I was like, you've got the wrong number. I can't do that. And my husband kept saying, that is not a dream. It's a nightmare. And we're not doing that. So, but many things happened that kept propelling us to that. And eventually my heart started to change. I was like, I can't. I definitely can't, but I know who can. And I believe that God was putting that calling on our hearts. So it was just a matter of stepping out, just taking one step. And some amazing things happened that finally got my husband on board, where he was like, okay, I guess we got to find that farm.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Grow Healthy, Help People podcast, a podcast that Accordis puts on. We love talking to our nonprofit leaders and learning about the amazing change that they are doing in their community, the difference they are making. And we are excited to be here with Lori today from By Faith Farms. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I am wonderful. Tell us where you're calling from.
Well, right now I'm in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I just left the
Okay.
farm. The farm is in Jolton, Tennessee, which is a little bit north of Nashville. So
Okay.
10 minutes outside of Nashville,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Okay, awesome. Well, before we get into the farm and kind of all the things that you guys do there, tell me a little bit about your story about starting this farm. Was this something that you had been planning and dreaming of for a long time? Did it just come out of nowhere? Tell me about how it came to be.
Yes, no, definitely had not been dreaming or planning or anything like that about being a farmer. I No, literally, I had a dream. I was doing accounting at that time, practice management for my husband, and I had a dream one night, and it was as vivid as a dream could possibly be. It looked like someone had a video camera, and they were just spanning this property. And as I watched it, and I saw these beautiful trees and ponds, then a voice said, "Buy land, grow food, and give it away." And it was so different and so real. I woke up and was thinking, wow, what a different dream. And I woke my husband up and said, I had the craziest dream, and it said to buy land, grow food, and give it away. And he rolled over and said, shut up and go back to sleep.
Right? Why are you waking me up to telling me
Yeah,
this?
exactly. Crazy talk, crazy talk. But the dream persisted. It kept coming back. And truly, at the beginning, I was like, you've got the wrong number. I can't do that. And my husband kept saying, that is not a dream. It's a nightmare. And we're not doing that. So, but many things happened that kept propelling us to that. And eventually my heart started to change. I was like, I can't. I definitely can't, but I know who can. And I believe that God was putting that calling on our hearts. So it was just a matter of stepping out, just taking one step. And some amazing things happened that finally got my husband on board, where he was like, okay, I guess we got to find that farm. And so we did. And we took that step of faith and started trying to figure out farming. And like I said, I'd never grown a green plant, honestly. I wasn't one of these ladies that had a lot of flowers in her yard and all that kind of thing. That wasn't me. But it happened. And even the first year, when those first little seeds went in the ground and something green came out of the soil, I was like, it's a miracle. It works. It works, you know. But what the real miracle has been is that so many other things have happened. And we've been doing this now 15 years. But along the way, I realized that it wasn't just about the food. The food is wonderful. And we've gone from donating just, a few, first year was almost 2,000 pounds of food, which I thought really was a miracle. Yeah, but last year was 39,000 pounds of food, and this year we will sort of celebrate that we've donated over 1 million servings of fruits and vegetables during the time we've been doing this. So it does seem like wow, how did that happen? But how it happened is not is not because of us. In some ways, I think it happens in spite of me because sometimes I'm like holding back, like, whoa, we're going too fast, you know. It's the volunteers. When we started getting volunteers and more people were involved, it became a community, this beautiful community. And the people that come are just, that's what makes it so amazing. You know, and I always look, I call our volunteers our farm angels because when they first started coming, it was like, oh, wow, it's the farm angels, you know. And yeah, and everybody had a story why they came, why they were there. And many of the stories were beautiful of why, you know, whatever it was that was hurting inside of them or something. Not everybody comes with in pain, but a lot do. And then other things began happening, like the Army from Fort Campbell called and said, would you be involved in our career service placement? Where you would, you know, where veterans that are retiring can learn many different skills, and sometimes they want to learn how to start a farm. I was like, we can do that, you know? And so we started a program to do that. And that too has been beautiful that many of the vets that have come and then ended up starting their own farm had some pretty serious PTSD and other things, um, some anxiety issues that really farming, having your hands in the dirt is so healing. It's so beautiful. And I thought, wow, it's amazing how this just keeps morphing into different things. I mean, it will always be the food component and community of people coming together to grow this food, but it's also become a place of hope and healing and connection, you know? So anyway, I've rambled on for a little while, but I truly am excited. And that's what also is what brings me to the farm every day because always something like that happens. There's someone that shows up and I think, okay, you're the reason I'm here today, you know?
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I love how your story is such an amazing reflection on even things that what we see in the Bible too about how God calls and uses people who say, you're absolutely talking to the wrong person. This is not something I can do. And God is very clear that, you know, I don't make mistakes. I know what I'm doing. I know what you can do better than what you know you can do, and his purpose and plan may be completely different than ours, but then looking back, you see, this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing. This is what I was called to do, which is so incredible. And I love that story. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
100%. And I
yeah,
argued
absolutely.
with him for a long time. It wasn't like I had the dream and said, yes, Lord, and ran
Yeah,
out the door.
right. Absolutely. Yes.
It was like 3 years of no, no,
He wore
not
you down. Yeah.
yeah. But he's very
Yes, exactly.
persistent.
Yeah,
And he has such a
absolutely.
sense of humor. You know, that's the other thing that I have learned in this journey is that God has such a sense of humor, you know, that different things would happen that I would be like, you did that. You know, I know.
Yes.
Or even I envision him, you know, saying, see that woman? I'm gonna turn her into a farmer. And they all laugh
Yeah.
their heads off, you know. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
But
Oh,
he does.
so was your husband, what did your husband do? What does he do?
Yeah, well, he was a dentist. And that's why, yeah, for so many years in the beginning, well, for one, that we were even able to purchase this land. And it was a lot more than what we expected. That's another whole God story in itself that, you know, on why this particular land. But in the beginning, we did think that God just put this calling on us to grow food and donate it, good, healthy food. That was the other thing is that we wanted it to be chemical free, pesticide free, like the best food you could get, you know, because so many people, when they're in need, you know, there are food banks you can go to, but you get boxed macaroni and cheese and, you know, the staples, things that fill the stomach, but they don't really help you to be a truly much healthier person. They don't help. Right. And for kids to stay in school and adults to stay employed and healthy. So we made that a commitment in the beginning that we didn't know anything about growing, so we didn't know how hard growing by organic standards would be. It was like, okay, we're going to do this. But But anyway, then the other vow that we made was that the food would never be sold. It would always, whatever we grew there would be donated. And so with Jim continuing to work, that helped to put money into the farm to be able to grow the infrastructure, get all the different things we had to buy. We started out with buying cow manure. I thought that was crazy. Like you buy cow poop? Really? That was the thing. When you don't have it, you buy it, and it isn't cheap. So there were all kinds of things I learned, and but then Jim had an accident on the farm, and he flipped an ATV, and he's had like 14 surgeries. He had to quit work, and he said, Lori, I hope you understand, but we have to sell the farm because, how else, And I was like, how do you sell God's farm? Because I didn't even feel like it was ours, It was like he started this. How do we sell his farm? And so we just tried to make it work. And then we started a 501c3, so now we're a nonprofit. And the great thing about that was I really realized the real mission in all this. The food, yes, but it was about the people. It was about the hope of healing and bringing people together. And so when we finally released and said, this truly is your farm, and bring the people, bring what we need, and then we started the 501c3, and that's when volunteers really started coming, and that's when we realized, okay, that this is what the farm is all about. It's a community. It's not meant to be Lori and Jim at all. We're just there to plant those first seeds, really. Um, and Jim, bless his heart, he's finally also come to the conclusion that we'll go ahead and put this into a trust. So it truly isn't ours anymore. It's in a trust that will go on for the nonprofit for as long as it's run uh, as a mission that it is. So that's beautiful, and I'm really thankful that he did that. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Uh,
it's a very cool
that's a
place to be.
very incredible story. I love it. So tell us kind of how the process works from start to finish. You plant the seed, and then what happens from there? What happens?
Well, and even back up from there in the late fall, beginning winter, we start planning for the next year. So we think about what we want to grow, and we talk to our partner. We have partner agencies that distribute the food, and so they all typically are partners of Second Harvest of Middle Tennessee, which I don't know if you've heard of them, but that's like Feeding America. It's a huge organization, and most every food bank is a partner of Second Harvest. So now any of those food banks, whether it's a little church or community food bank or a large one, they can come to us and get the food directly, so they can come and pick up. But we'll go to them and talk about what are the foods that you're most in need of, and then we will purchase seeds that we feel like are very nutrient dense. So we do a little research on that. What's going to give the most nutrition and also be tasty that people want to eat. We've also reached out to some partners to help us with even recipes, so that if people are getting something that maybe they've never eaten before because they don't get fresh food very often, that they could have some simple recipes that show them how they can, cook this easily with one or two or three ingredients. So there's planning to happen first, and then we plan out our fields, so that we rotate our crops every year so they're healthier. And that also helps when you're trying to grow things, bioorganic standards or chemical free and all that. We do a lot of cover crop and companion planting and all kinds of things that I can't believe, way back when that I'm the things that you learn through the years. And then we start all of our seeds in a greenhouse. We have a greenhouse. We'll get things started. Volunteers can come and help with that process. And I love it when they do, because then they see the full cycle, from having your seeds to getting them started in the greenhouse. And what it takes to grow in the greenhouse is a little different than growing in the dirt. Um, but it's beautiful to see the full process. And then at a certain stage, usually when the ground is at the right temperature, then we will grow. We'll take those starts and put them in the ground. So we have volunteers from all over, from maybe a corporation will bring out their team for team building and also to give back to the community. And those are wonderful relationships as well. We have quite a few corporations that want to partner with us in this, and they will help with contributions as well as volunteers. Um, and then they become part of the farm. If they want to bring their team out for a team luncheon or whatever, we are partners, and they become also By Faith Farm. And then we have a lot of schools. We've even had colleges that have come out for classes that wanted to learn more about sustainable agriculture. Yeah, we've had several groups that came out actually to do like a class at the farm that we would teach about either regenerative farming, sustainable agriculture, that kind of thing. Because we have actually won an award, Sustainable Farmer of the Year or something like that. So
Awesome. That's
I
awesome.
know, who would have thought? There goes God's
Right.
sense of humor again. But and then we've also partnered with Special Olympics, which I just love. I had a sister who had Down syndrome, and so this is really special to me. But we've done some online classes with the athletes to teach how healthy food means healthy bodies and healthy athletes. And then we had them out to the farm and set up stations so they could learn different things from soil science all the way through to herbs. And anyway, that was super fun. So we've partnered with several organizations to help people, to help children and adults connect with nature and learn more about their food and have the opportunity to give back.
Yeah. I love that so much. So, how many different organizations or food banks do you think you currently work with that you provide food to?
Right now, 20. And we're open to others. We've this year have added on quite a few. So we're a 97-acre farm. We actually grow 39,000 pounds was grown on about 2 acres, believe it or not, 2 acres in a high tunnel in a greenhouse. So we could grow exponentially more, and that's where I see the future of the farm. Is there as much as we do right now, there is so much more
So much more
potential.
you can do. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and
absolutely.
more people to become involved. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
So, on that note, kind of what does growth look like to you? Where do you want to see By Faith Farm at in 5, 10 years down the road? What do you want it to look like?
Yeah, well, I hope that when people think about the farm, it's not just about the food, but they also think about the lives changed, the hope and healing that come from the farm. And I see that being an even bigger part of all that we do. So we are looking to build what we're calling the Harvest House, which will help us to grow the impact much more. We're kind of at a crossroads right now where the amount of food that we can harvest on any given day is often um, limited by not having a place to bring it into that's climate controlled, where we can cool it down. We don't have any building on the farm that barn or anything that's climate controlled, so it's still pretty warm. And if you harvest a whole bunch of, say, greens or corn, it needs to get cooled down right away. So we need that other facility, and we only have one bathroom. So when we do have large, that would be nice. We've tried porta potties. No one wants to be on the porta potties, so I see that as part of the future of Buffett Farm, probably the not too distant future, but we can grow more of the educational part and the community part. The community can come together more because I'm learning more and more. That is truly a big part of what this is all about. And then with that community growing more, we can also extend the gardens more. We'll have more people to be able to have more community gardens. So can you imagine if we can do 39,000 pounds, we could probably do 100,000 pounds of food. And I would be totally happy with that. You know, if the farm is used, if 100% of this farm is used to grow food and support people in need in a multitude of ways, you know.
I love that so much. And, you know, I'm sure I know you know this because running a nonprofit, every nonprofit leader knows this, but you have these goals and you have these dreams and you want so much to come from what you're doing in the community and you want to help so many people. So, what do you see as the challenges that kind of are prohibiting you from getting to where you want to be? What are the biggest challenges you face?
Well, we definitely have the volunteers and they keep coming, you know. I think it's maybe having the supporters, the corporations, foundations that know about us. We're really kind of we've just begun to get out into the community. The agricultural community knew us because I wasn't looking to go out and get donations for many years, but everybody in the farming community knew of By Faith Farm. They knew what we were doing. I went to a lot of different ag events to learn more about farming. And so we're relatively new in the whole nonprofit world, you know. And even up to this year, it's first year, we were beginning to reach out to say foundations and grants and that kind of thing. There you go, more new things to learn. But I think we need now is how to share the story with others who have that's their philanthropic mission. They want to they're concerned with food insecurity and with families getting the nutrition they need and with veterans getting the hope they need. People, you know, the different organizations that's their thing. They want we just need to connect with them to say, "Hey, here we are. We'll be happy to partner with you in all of this. You know, come to the farm, experience it."
Yeah, yes.
I
I
feel
love
like
that.
everyone that comes to the farm, they get
Uh-huh.
it. They just look around
They get
and
it. Yes.
you can just feel it. You feel the spirit, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so more invitations. So maybe that's my thing is to get the word out and invite
Yeah.
more people to just come experience a farm and see what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, if you're watching this and you're a nonprofit leader, what Lori's talking about right now is so important. So when you are looking to try to grow your donor base, especially with foundations and businesses and larger corporations to be able to help in a big way, they want to see what you are doing. They want to have a sense of what their money is going to be going towards, how it's going to be helping you grow. And that's something that Acordis can step in and help with. We can help in all sorts of ways on the back end, from accounting to marketing design. But specifically on that side, we can help with that marketing, putting together an annual report that really shows what you have done throughout the year, what your growth looks like, what your financials looks like, pictures, events, the change that you have been making because of the organization, the lives that are being changed, we can help put that together for you so they have that visual to look at and say, wow, I had no idea that you were doing everything that you are doing. And so
Mhm.
those are just some of the areas that we love to step in. So if you're interested and you could use our help, please check out the link at the end of this video. We would be more than happy to talk to you. So Lori, what does help look like for you? If people want to get involved, let's say in your area, first of all, how can they get involved with you? And then if they're not in their area, how can they best support you?
Mhm. Well, probably go to the website by Faith Farm, singular FARM.com, byfaithfarm.com. And we have all of our volunteer event or our volunteer days are there. They can sign up through Point. It's a separate app, but and they can call me. My phone number is all over the website. So if if there's a day that they'd like to volunteer that's not on there, all they have to do is call me. I'm there most days. So we can work together on that. So there's volunteering. There's we also in-kind donations. There's so many different things. We have an Amazon wish list. We have yeah. And then they can pray for the farm. That's an easy thing if you're far away. We appreciate prayers. I think prayers are truly what has gotten us to where we are today. It does, and so many good things happening. And then, of course, if they want to donate on the website, easy way to do that. We are appreciative at any amount. Someone wants to give $5 a month. We do a monthly donations too. And if you know of a company, corporation, just like we were talking, that their philanthropic mission is to help people who are facing food insecurity, we would love to partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys,
Oh,
if I would love for you to just check out their website. We're going to have it linked at the end of the show as well. And if you're local, just if nothing else, go by and check out the farm because exactly like Lori said, when you see it, it truly changes you and you really feel the difference that they are making and you can see it with your own eyes. And I think that is so important for people to do when they are in the area of an organization. Go check out your local organizations. It means so much to them, and it is just such a wonderful thing to do. If you are a company looking for volunteer hours, team building, anything along those lines, volunteer. Nowadays, there are more students than ever that need community service hours. If you're looking for your student to find a way to volunteer, this is such a wonderful opportunity. And so I encourage you to get involved. And if you can't donate, donate money. Um, they need it. I'm telling you, every nonprofit needs your money because, yes, we are giving back, we are serving people, but you truly can't do that without the financial support from others. And so I encourage you to give and just, again, check out their website, check out their farm. I know they'd love to have you. Lori,
one thing, if
yeah,
you don't mind, I'll just say
yes,
we
please.
do have a flower garden is absolutely gorgeous, and we have you pick flower garden events every Saturday
Yes.
and Tuesday. We have even this Saturday is the 4th of July, and we'll have a special one. We're calling it Red, White, and Bloom, and we'll have popsicles
Oh,
and games and things like that. But that's if they want to come out just to enjoy the farm. Saturday
yeah.
is a great day to come in the morning. And then we also, the space that my husband and I used to live in is we rented for farm stay. So if someone wants to come just experience or just to enjoy the farm and spend a
I
weekend or a
love
week or
that.
something. So all that is on the website too, but those are other ways that I forget sometimes of ways to support the
Yeah.
farm that are just fun.
That are fun. I love that so much. Get your kids out of the house. Let them go pick some
Yeah,
flowers and
yeah,
or take a little mini trip with your spouse and just enjoy the farm life. I love both of those things so much. So like she's saying, so many ways you can get involved and I know they would love to have you. Lori, it has been absolutely incredible getting to talk to you. You're such an inspiration. I hope people watch your story and realize that just because they don't feel equipped to do something doesn't mean they shouldn't do it. And I hope you have encouraged people to take that step of faith and really do what they feel God's calling them to do to serve others. Because if they don't, they could be missing out on a huge opportunity to help people. And I'm so thankful that you took that step and that leap of faith and did it. So I love talking to you.
well, thank you. I love talking
Yeah,
to you. And it is a wonderful life.
absolutely.
I would
Yeah,
encourage anyone, no matter how strange it seems,
yeah,
take that first step and it may change your life in the most
yeah,
wonderful, beautiful ways.
yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on Grow Healthy Help People.